Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. Have a special guest today. I don't know if you can see him right here. This is our new puppy. I'm sure he won't be this small enough to feature him in videos for very much longer. His name's Towns. He's a cutie. But I'll talk about that later, I guess. But yeah, we named him Towns. I'm sure you can imagine why, but he's a nice little playful puppy and his early days here. He's a little mischievous, but he's a really good dog. Anyways, I need to keep an eye on him, so he's going to sit next to me while I try to shoot this video. Anyways, but it's been a good couple weeks since I did my last heavy rotation, and didn't have anything particular on my mind to make a video about, so I thought I would just show you what I've been coming up with. I've been really good lately. I've behaved myself very well, not bought many records, but I always end up getting some stuff. So anyways, first and foremost, I got this record like a couple months ago, and I didn't want to talk about it because I was in the process of trying to license it. This is called Genre, Commercial Success. Really killer record, but we licensed it, so we got a signed contract and everything. Oh, he likes to bite on my beard. I don't understand that. But anyways, it's like jazz, funk, prog type stuff. The guy who is the main guitar player wrote everything on the album. His name's L.A. Jenkins. He's incredible. He's the guy who I met and talked to and kind of licensed it through. Don't be chewing on my records. Please don't do that. Yeah, I'll give that a listen. It's on YouTube. Someone's ripped it and put it on. But we're in the process of getting the mastering and all that stuff done. But I thought I would show you that. I've been listening to that a lot. Because in the course of doing a label and stuff, you kind of got to listen to a bunch of different stuff to decide, I might like it, but do people like it enough to buy it, and how many people are going to like it, if it's something like, Dry Water, I think that a ton of people are going to want that. It's really, really good. But some of the weirder stuff, I don't know how many people will be into. So I've been listening to that a lot to try to figure out how many copies to make. But I just did a video with like a label update of all the stuff we're putting down on our label, showing everything and giving you links and information and all that stuff. That was my last video. If you haven't watched that, watch it. It's what I've been working really, really hard on. So I bought a collection on Monday. It was kind of crazy. Went out to this guy's house in Concord. His name's Roger. Roger, I know you're watching this. Appreciate you, man. But he had probably about 5,000 records. It was a lot. And just kind of went out to take a look at it, and he needed to make some space, and he'd had them long enough. And he basically went to yard sales and flea markets and antique malls and stuff and bought a ton of records over the past 20 years. And so there was a bunch of good and a bunch of bad. A lot of these collections are that way. And so I'm kind of sifting through everything now to divide out like what we're probably going to have a huge $1 sale at the shop in the coming months. If you're local, that'll be pretty good. And we're going to be blowing a bunch of it out, but I've had a few gems in there. This is called Zane Beck. Zane Beck plays the new ZB student model. I don't know if there's any sales history of this ever selling. There's barely any info on Discogs. But it's just like some really cool pedal steel guitar action. I ripped this and put it on my Find This Record channel. So if you don't subscribe to that channel, I just rip stuff that's not available online anywhere. So that was kind of cool. I did. This is one called Clifton Dyson, Slow Your Body Down. Clifton Dyson was, he had this group called Dyson's Faces, which is a really good like funk group. And I have that record, the Dyson's Faces record, and it's really good. And I saw this and I was like, "Ooh, Clifton Dyson!" And it's a very cool record, really, really boogie funky. He is like extra mischievous right now. I don't understand what his deal is. He's usually like just like sleeping next to me, and he's like wanting to party. My son, my 7-year-old, we bought this puppy for him because I think it's important for every boy to have a puppy. Like the highlight of my childhood was having a puppy. I had a puppy named Tabasco, and he was the best. And like some of my best memories were when he was puppy. So I wanted him to have that opportunity, even though I don't need another dog anyways. I wanted him to have one. So he's been playing with him all the time, so he just want me to play with him, I guess. Another one I found in that collection is called Mad Jack Straight Up. This is a really good record. It is Southern rock, and it's really, really killer Southern rock. Look at these guys. They really know how to party. Amazing. I've been looking for this record. It's killer. So was glad to find it out in the wild. It's nice to find things out in the wild. These were the two that kind of like perked me up a little bit. Sorry, I'm having a multitask. Hold this puppy while I'm doing these records. This is Flight to Jordan, Duke Jordan. It's a fantastic blue note. I had the, I believe it's Acoustic or Analog Productions release of this. Duke Jordan, Dizzy Reese, Stanley Turrentine, Reginald Workman, Art Taylor. Really, really great blue note. This is a first pressing, reasonably clean. Was thrilled to find that one in there. Like I said, I have the Audiophile one, and so it's nice to get an original of that. This Mal Waldron. He plays with John Coltrane. It's Mal Waldron's sextet. Jackie McLean, John Coltrane, some other guys, Idris Suleiman, Sahib Shabhab, and Bill Hardman. Really, really great jazz, and this is a first pressing as well on this Fireworks label. I might do a video soon on my new record cleaner that I got. I just got a record cleaner, and it's the one, what's his name? Gosh, he's driving me nuts. He's like biting my arm. Just so it's the one they use over at Analog Productions. They sell them over there. It's the KL Audio. It's really good, but Chad talked me into buying one because he showed me how it worked, and it's just like the most insane record cleaner I've ever seen, and it works extremely well. So we have it at the shop. We've been playing with it. It's been awesome. So all these I've been kind of running through the cleaner. This is one somebody brought. Here's a few that I'm going to show that people brought into the shop. This is an original mono Dexter Gordon Go. This is a terrific record. I've had really bad luck getting this record. I found one a few years ago. I was really excited and got it home and put it on, and I was like, this doesn't sound right. And it was still a blue note, but I didn't look at the label close enough. It was a different blue note. So I've had kind of bad luck getting this one, but it's a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous record. This is a great one that came in. I already had a reissue of this, but this is an original, Only by the Night, Kings of Leon. This came out when I was in college, I think. This is a first pressing, which isn't like, it doesn't even go for as much as you would think. It was 2008, that's what I thought. So this came out when I was in college. I was like super into this record. It was everywhere. So many hits on this. But man, I just like, it's one of those records when I listen to it, it just brings back so many memories of things that was going on in my life that time. Me and my wife were dating some of that time, and a lot of core memories of just like huge life changes and things like that. So listening to that record's kind of cool. And so like I said before, I've been really good. I've not been buying I don't think I've bought any records. I bought 2 records from a friend and, kind of paid a little bit for them. But it was because I talked about that in my last video. It was Zamrock records I didn't have yet that I needed. But other than that, I didn't buy any records at all in February, which is insane. Well, as far as like online goes and naughty spending, as we'll call it. I have bought some records and collections and things that have come to the shop. Things are going to come my way naturally since I own a shop. But as far as like me going online and paying retail for things, I just didn't really do that. So this is one I've had for a long, long time. Henry Texier, Varesh. Anyways, this is a tremendous, it's like jazz, smooth jazz, funky type stuff. He's got a couple records. I have them both. He might have more than that. I had 2 of his records is what I'm trying to say. But this is a really, really fantastic, killer, smooth record. It's amazing. It's been sampled a bunch, I think. This is Miles Davis, Agartha. This is I think this is an original. Well, it's a Holland pressing from the Netherlands, but really really killer jazz funk, really cool era of Miles Davis. I got that in the collection. I bought a really big collection 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago from a guy, and it was like 2 or 3 thousand records. I don't know. It was a lot, but there's a lot of jazz, funk, prog, stuff like that in there. Um, this is one that I've just always gone back to. This is Stephen Wilson, the Raven that refused to sing, and other stories. Um, I I like, as I'm not buying anything, I'm trying to like enjoy the records that I have here, and I've really been having a good time just sitting and pulling things out and listening to things that I remember really liking. This is one that kind of popped in my head that I put on that I really enjoyed. I do like a lot of Stephen Wilson and Porcupine Tree, but it's one of those things that, I can't name many songs or anything. It's just that when when I put the records on and listen to them, I'm like, man, this is really good. But I've not, it's never hooked me to the point where I'm like a huge fan, but I really do enjoy that stuff. And like that record sounds amazing. It's got a lot of cool elements to it. That's a really, really awesome record. I feel like anybody would probably enjoy. But this is some like analog production stuff. So I got a big order from them, and I also, you guys have seen that I went to Salina to hang out there. So I've been kind of enjoying just listening to my system. I've tweaked it a little bit, like my amp and stuff, to try to get the sound kind of where I want it. I'm not, like I said 1,000 times before, I'm not a huge audiophile. I have lucked out and gotten some really nice equipment and stuff, and so like I've been listening to the UHQRs. I meant to grab it. It's over there. The John Coltrane Ballads UHQR is amazing. Sounds incredible. That one is just, man, that one blew me away. Really, really good. Um, I have all the Steely Dan UHQRs that have been released so far, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've not ever been a huge Steely Dan fan, but those, the UHQRs, they kind of force you to sit and really listen. And I think that if you really listen to anything, you can find things that you like in them. And I've kind of sat down and really listened to those records, and they're, I mean, really, really good albums. So I'm looking forward to getting more familiar with them, because a lot of times, some of these albums, it's the first time I've ever heard the album start to finish, because I've never, I've heard the hits on the radio and they're okay or whatever, but it's just kind of not ever really been my thing. It's not really heavy enough for me, when I was young and stuff. So I've never had the albums in my collection, never bought them, never cared much about them. So now, like, as they're UHQRs, I'm listening to them start to finish. And it's a cool way to hear an album for the first time. So, like I said, I'm familiar with Steely Dan, but it's just one of those bands that's in my blind spot. I've never listened to Steely Dan much. I really not ever listened to Kiss a whole lot. I just don't. I'm not. Their aesthetic's not appealing, and the songs that I've listened to, I've not cared for. But not to say that I might like them, but I think that Kiss might be one of those bands that you have to grow up liking, because I think if they don't hook you when you're like 12, then they're not going to hook you. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like Fish is a band that when they're on, I like the music. It's okay, but it's not something that I've ever like really dove into. There's a bunch of bands like that I probably should like, but I just don't. I might get into them down the road, but I haven't yet. Anyways, so here's some audiophile things I've been listening to outside of the Steely Dan UHQRs and the John Coltrane Ballads UHQR, and there's a couple more I've been putting on. I've been listening to my Zeppelin Road case, because why not? I mean, if you have it, why not listen to it all the time? This is Bill Evans' Some Other Time, the Lost Session from the Black Forest, recorded at MPS Studios in Germany, June 20th, 1968. This is a really good audiophile. Bill Evans, it's a 45 RPM. Eddie Gomez, Dak DeJohnette. It's a tremendous, tremendous audiophile Bill Evans record. I really have enjoyed that. And their Atlantic 75 series is just top-notch quality. Really good stuff. Listen to this John Prine a lot here lately. This is an album that I've always really liked, but just fantastic. And like, what a unique songwriter, John Prine. Very cool, very unique songwriting. The Angel from Montgomery is the one on here I think most people would probably know. It was covered by uh, Bonnie Raitt. I mean, it's been covered by a few different people, a lot of different people, but it's a fantastic, fantastic record, and it's audiophile, double LP, 45 RPM, all that stuff. I also got this from, which I've been meaning to get. This is the Wonderful Sounds of Quality Record Pressing. It's a big old thick 3 LP. And like the first section is female vocals, second section is classical, third section is blues, fourth section is rhythm and blues, and then the last two discs or the last two sides are jazz. And it's really cool. It's just kind of like a greatest hits of quality record pressing, and it's really nice audiophile quality. Very, very, very nice. But I've been wanting to get that, and I did get it. Next up is a great record. It's a record you see at any record store. You can walk in and find this record. It's Bad Company, self-titled. This, I remember my dad telling me about Bad Company. Now, the amount of bands that there's a crossover between me and my dad are very, very, very few. We do not like the same type of music. We never have. But there's a few bands that me and him both like. Lynyrd Skynyrd's like number one. We both love Lynyrd Skynyrd. But Bad Company's probably number two. And so he really, really liked Bad Company. And so he was like, he's trying to get over here and chew on these records, and I'm not going to let him do it. He was always like, you need to listen to Bad Company. And so I was just having a hard time finding the records. And I ended up finding this cassette tape at a yard sale, and we would listen to it in his truck anytime we would go anywhere, which me and my dad, some of my fondest memories with my dad was me and him in the truck, listening to music or talking or whatever. And so I have always had copies of this, but they've always been really noisy or sound bad or whatever. This record was heavily partied with, you know what I mean? So it's really nice to have an audiophile quality. This is the 45 RPM, all that stuff. And I have not listened to this record probably since I was probably one of those times with me and my dad's Toyota truck growing up, you know. It's been a long time since I listened to it, you know, start to finish. And some of the songs are really good that I just forgot about. But man, I sat down, put this on, and I was just like, oh man. I mean, it really just kind of hit me, the gravity of it, because now me and my kids, you know, my oldest is 10, and my youngest is 7, both boys. And we spend a lot of time in the truck or car or whatever. And I try to take them out on like special days just for them or whatever. We run, even if we're just running errands or whatever, it means a lot to them that they're able to just spend some one-on-one time with me or mom. But putting this on, listen to it, I was like, man, and my son hangs out in the record room with me all the time and kind of takes stuff in and listens to music and tells me how he likes it and all that stuff. So this is a cool trip down memory lane, and I've listened to that probably more than any other record the past couple of weeks. It is tremendous. Sounds so freaking good. The one that surprised me the most, and when I was sitting in Salina in Chad's office, so Chad had this insane system in his office where he was showing me all these different recordings and stuff, and we also went to his house, and he has this insane system in his house where he was showing me different things, this kind of recordings that were some of his favorite ones. And this was one, like, he loves Tony Joe White, which I also love Tony Joe White. I haven't listened to him probably as much as Chad has, but I really, really like Tony Joe White. And this is an album that I've not ever listened to a whole lot of. I have a few of his other albums, and I just got an original of this, but hadn't listened to it yet. So this is the Analog Productions version of Homemade Ice Cream. And man, it is fantastic. It's a 45 RPM as well. And just like the harmonica and acoustic guitar, and it's just deep, rich vocals. This is a real stunner. This is a great record. If you don't have one, you know, you can stream it or whatever. But I think they're still in stock on the Analog Productions website. This is a tremendous record. Really, really good. Amazing sound stages. It's got like this rich feel of a lot of those old blues records, but it sounds fantastic. I really have enjoyed listening to this. And so I think, you know, it's good to take a break from, you know, I think a huge part of my record collecting journey the past few years has just been like anything that I get a chance at. If I can get a good deal, I feel like I'm not gonna get it again. I'm not gonna get another chance to get this. And I'm starting to realize that, you know, I've had 2 Randy Holden Population 2s. I've had 2 copies of Farm. I've had, you know, I've not had 2 Fractions. I almost had another one a little while ago, but you know, I've had even 2 copies of some of my rarest ones that were my most sought after that I never thought I'd find. So, you know, things, they come around, and I'm trying to chill a little bit and really be thankful and enjoy the things that I have, because I have a lot of records that deserve more attention. So, you know, from here on, for the next, you know, at least for the next few months until I get a wild hair or something, I'm just going to be like trying to enjoy the records that I have here at the house, and not go nuts or anything. I'm notorious about going off the rails, but I really have been very good the past month and all that stuff. But I think, like I said, I think it's good to sit down and really enjoy the things you already have, instead of like just trying to always get the next thing. Because like, you get a record, you add it to your collection, you take it off your want list, and you look for the next one, and it's just like endless. It's endless. The more you find, the more you realize that you need, and all that stuff. But anyways, oh, this is a cool one. I forgot about this one. I just put this on my Find This record. I just ripped it. It's called Spectrum. Really cool, like lounge, soul, funk, disco type thing. But I put it on there. The credits are hilarious. The lead singer's name is Phil Thunder Chicken Barklum. His nickname is Thunder Chicken. The keyboard player, his nickname is Bones. But anyways, it's a really cool album. I just put it on my Find This Record YouTube channel, where I just rip obscure records that aren't available anywhere else. And if you haven't already, check out our website. We got Samuel Prody. This is our latest exclusive. It's tremendous. Very, very good. It's in line with all those super heavy hard rock records that I always recommend and do on our exclusives and stuff. So anyways, this might be the only time I have Towns in one of the videos, because he was trying to steal the show. He's a sweet one. Look at him. Look at this sweet boy. Anyways, he's a golden doodle, a red. It's I don't know all the terminology, but this is kind of a dog that we've always kind of wanted, and he's just like pick of the litter, man. This is a sweet, sweet dog. A lot of times he's like this. He's just real chill. But then you saw when he was like biting my arm off, he does that a good bit too. So anyways, thank y'all for watching. We'll see you guys next time.